Let's go. Hello, hello. You are listening to Made Away by Travis Green. The time now is 21 minutes past 3 p.m. on a beautiful Wednesday afternoon. This is John doing the Agape's Top 10. I know you're not used to me being here. Should be Tali. Tali, unfortunately, is with family. In studio today, we are going to have an incredible guest. For those who are viewing right now, you can see her, an amazing personality indeed. And it's not just in the looks, all right? We'll talk about that and more. We have Faith Kaumbo. Welcome in studio, Faith. It's great to have you.
Thank you, John. Thank you for having me.
You're welcome. So we're gonna start by talking about her bio, and then we will have an incredible discussion. I really feel that today we're gonna have a blast. We're gonna have a treat because she is a woman or a lady of many talents. So Faith Kaumbo is a 29-year-old Zimbabwean-born author, entrepreneur, and single mom based in Port Elizabeth. She launched her first book in December 2019, The Best Is Me, in which she shares her life story with the hopes that it will inspire women everywhere to overcome and achieve. The book could not have been published at a better time in the current world that is faced with increase in gender-based violence, child abuse, and xenophobia. Faith has been bold enough to speak out on very sensitive issues that have affected many women who are afraid to speak boldly about them. Through this book, she also hopes she can encourage abused victims to start the road to healing. She runs her own beauty bar, Faye's Makeup and Beauty Parlor, which offers makeup and nail services for various events such as weddings, parties, graduations, matrics, telecasts, funerals, red carpet conferences, and seminars, etc. Faith is also passionate about empowering young people, so she teaches beauty skills to young girls and boys in Port Elizabeth so they are better equipped to start their own small businesses in the beauty sector. Wow. Welcome to Agape once again. It's great to have you. Cool. So we're gonna start. We were just like we were having a little bit, of a chat, and I was like, "You are 29 and doing all this. How are you doing all this?" When did you start this incredible journey? Let's just have a talk about that. What stirred you, to set out on a journey of entrepreneurship, being an author, and all this that you have achieved?
Okay. Good day to our listeners. Let me start by saying that. Okay. Being an entrepreneur, how did it start? Some of those things I think we are born with them. We are born with them in such a way that during in our journeys or the other journeys, somehow God will lead you to some situations in life that will make you actually realize that you know what, I think I don't belong here. Let me pack my bags and move to the next step. So I can't really explain, or I can't really tell when did I start being an entrepreneur, because I can even remember the other time when I was still working. I worked at some company. Unfortunately, I'm not going to name the names, totally, but it didn't end well. But I remember when I was still there, I used to steal their time and do my other businesses. So that's why I'm saying this journey of of hustling, the way
Yeah.
we call it. I can't really describe when
and how it started.
started, but I think it's the things that I was born with.
You know, as I call it, it's in the blood.
Yes,
Yeah, it's
yes.
just in the blood. Cool. So,
Yes.
Faith, you launched your first book in December 2019.
Yes, correct.
The Best is Me.
Correct.
Why that title? What did you want to achieve with the book? But let's first start with why The Best is Me.
Why the best is me? I always explain to certain people that I didn't know actually that I was writing a book. So probably if I knew, I was maybe going to say I planned on the title, but because I didn't know I was writing a book, to me, when I wrote that book, it was conversations that I was having with myself. And later on, I realized that it was actually a healing process, because healing then took place after the book. So I didn't plan on the title, but when I combined the conversations that I was having with myself, they came out the title, The Best is Me. Because it was the point, it was at a point in time when I realized that we expect a lot of things from people, from the world, from the universe, which is not bad. But it's only when you realize that the best comes out of you. Yes, the world can give us good enough. Yes, people can give us better enough. But only the best will come out of you. Hence the title, The Best is Me.
All right. And what did you want to achieve with the book? What was the intention? You know, apart from like the self-healing, kind of, because you said of the, you know, conversations you were having within yourself.
Yes.
What impact, you know, did you pray or expect or anticipate for the readers to have, you know, when they read the book? What should they take out of it?
I expected, like, I'm still expecting, because I know for sure that a lot of people haven't came across the book. Some they don't even know about the title. Some they don't even know that there's this book that exists. But one thing that I would love to see happening because of the book, it's I want my fellow women, especially young women. I'm so, men are not excluded, but I'm very passionate about the young women, plus and minus my age, to learn to love themselves, to learn to speak up, to learn to share, and to learn to equip and groom themselves. Because in the book, most of the things that I was talking about, like even the issue of entrepreneurship, let me just say the issue of working and improving yourself, it also starts from you. It starts from within. The moment that you make a decision and be like, you know, I want to change this, it starts from you. So with me, it was that thing that I want people to realize that you can actually achieve anything in life only when it starts from within and you put your mind in it and you tell yourself that I can do this. And the other issue that I was mainly addressing in the book was don't stay in relationships that are not working. I was not only talking about people who are in love, baby, fiancé, spouse.
Romantic relationships.
No, I even explained, I think it was chapter 3 or 4, when I was saying we do have these toxic relationships even in our homes, where me and my sister, we're not good together. We even try work things out. We are blood, but we just don't get along. There are those toxic relationships that happens at work, where when you wake up in the morning, you feel like, okay, I am going to that place again. There are those kind of relationships that we do have even with friends, Whereas when you are sleeping, when you start thinking of your friend, you'll be like, you know. So I was actually tackling on all those kind of relationships, but mainly I was talking about my journey as a married woman, and let me just say my journey from Mrs. to Miss. Yes.
Okay.
Let me put it that way.
Wow.
Yes,
That actually says a lot, you know, like the journey from Mrs. to Miss.
Yes, yes. Correct.
Yeah, I do believe that many people that go through, you know, through divorce or something like that, it usually it is not the best of experience. It is actually quite traumatic, and many people are left with guilt feelings and maybe sometimes shame. You know, now you know, like there's a stigma. Of course, the society just puts a stigma on you. And what word of encouragement, you know, can you tell a lady, you know, out there right now, you know, who is a divorcee, you know, and who went through, you know, a traumatic, as you said, a relationship that isn't working, you know, because not all marriages, you know, are rosy, you know, some it's more of a battlefield, and you know, the endurance. You know, what would you say to a lady who's going through that right away?
Okay, I'm actually going to quote on some things that I wrote in the book. I said, at times, it takes you losing things that you were settling for you to be reminded on the things that you truly deserve. Sometimes it takes other things to fall apart for better things to fall into place. So if you but it's so painful that at that moment when you are in the process, in the journey, you don't realize that actually those things has to fall apart for better things to fall into place. So I would advise a woman that went through divorce, or that is going through divorce, or that is planning to divorce, that it may seem like it's the end of the world. It's not. It's actually the beginning of better things. Anything in life is simply a product of the meaning that you give to it, you as a person. So if you tell yourself that, yes, this is a divorce, meaning it's the end of something, but I will give birth to something better. Yes, it's a divorce, meaning it's the marriage that has ended, it's the union that has ended, but me as a person, I will give birth to something better.
And you know, like I don't, you know, and the scripture is quite clear on this. You know,
Yes.
divorce has never been the plan of God.
Yes,
It has,
correct.
from the original, says, you know, even Jesus said that in the beginning, you know, it was only Moses who allowed it, because the people actually, you know, kept on bothering him about it. You know, so it's not God's will, you know, for you, our listener and viewer right now, that, you know, to go through a divorce, because God knows how terrible, you know, a divorce is emotionally, psychologically. You're left with the aftermath, you know, of a failed relationship. And so you said in your book, or in your bio, that you were dealing with quite sensitive issues, you know, that you are empowering people to speak boldly, giving a voice, you know, to the voiceless. You know, people, things like gender-based violence, xenophobia, and so. Okay, in what way would you like? Because empowering is on, you know, on different level. You know, so what kind of a voice would you like to give to, you know, the readers of the book? Let's say something is happening to someone right now about gender-based violence, you know, like in a relationship, or whether it's a xenophobic, maybe it's just like a racial stigma that is there. From your experience and from your perspective, from the book, how should someone, approach that or confront that situation? How do we deal with these issues? Because they're real issues, they are in the society.
Okay. So with the abuse part, I never experienced the physical side of the abuse, and I didn't know that it was abuse. It was only when I was out that's when I realized, no, this was abuse. I couldn't even give it names when I was there, because what happens with this issue of abuse, especially when it's coming from the opposite side, or when you are in a relationship, in most cases you will be blaming yourself and be like, I think he had to because I did this. I think he did this because I had done this to him. That's it still goes back to the title of my book, that the best comes out of you. It's only when you realize that people can just be brutal. People can just be, I don't want to use deep words, or ugly words, but people can just be wicked without you provoking anything like that in them. But we don't know that. We actually think for him or for her to say this, maybe it was because I had said this, maybe because I had done this, of which it's possible that it can just happen without you. Like you might just be pure. It's them dealing with other things. It's them with their own issues. So I would say to the listeners, in as much as we all deal with we all deal differently, or we all react differently to certain situations in life, what worked for me was it started when I decided that I will, or I want to change this. Just that. When I told myself that I think I will not stand this anymore, or I can't stand this anymore, what can I do to change this? That's where it starts. Because the moment you tell yourself that I want to change, even when you want to change clothes, when you tell yourself that I want to change clothes, you need to come up with new clothes or different clothes for you to change. So the moment you tell yourself that I want to change this situation, I'm not happy, and it's not healthy, it's not going anywhere, I want to change it. Then when you tell yourself that I want to change, you must be willing to come up with how or what's next. A lot of people want to change their situations, but it's because they only stop at I want to change, or I don't want this. Okay, let me say, a lot of people will be like, I don't like this, or I don't want this. But what actually are you doing? What are you replacing the don'ts with? What are the do's are you willing to put into place to replace your don'ts? So it was that moment when I was like, I'm not willing to carry on like this. I don't want this. And I decided, I was like, what else can I do to change this? Then change, then can.
It's true. And for there to be, say, a victim of something, there must be a perpetrator. Yes. There really has to be. And, from basically not only psychological point of view, but like really the perpetrator only gets away with things when things are not voiced out, so like, if you right now listening to us right now, you know that you are going through something that is like hurting and an injustice, in one way or another, things that are tearing you down instead of building you up. Remember, you always have the option, of speaking out. You need to voice these things. There are many institutions that can handle with things like domestic violence and stuff like that. You can always approach these institutions to deal with all this matter. So fast forward to the business aspect of you, a very creative person, from what I have seen. Very interesting. You said in your bio that you run your own beauty bar, which is face, makeup, and beauty parlor. I guess the face, like the faith.
Yes.
So it's like, instead of faiths, like
Yes,
face.
correct,
Okay.
correct.
So when did you start the makeup and beauty parlor? When did you start it? Or has it been an ongoing thing as well?
I've always been into beauty, but it was 2018 when I started running the beauty parlor, as
Alright.
in when I started doing the trainings and when I started doing it full time as a source of income. It was 2018. But I've always been into beauty. I've worked for people and so many institutes, and I was also I was also doing beauty. So I've always been into beauty, but standing on my own, it was in 2018.
And how was that? How was that taking off? Because I mean, it's a risk. We all know, business. For you to be in business, I mean, you have to have some sort of appetite, for risk, calculated risk, of course, because well, there's no income, there's no salary, there's no pay, there's no paycheck at the end of the month. I mean, it's up to hustle, as you said it.
Yes.
You have to sweat it out.
Correct.
You have to do all the marketing, all the work and everything. So, I mean, how was that transition for you? From, you said you were working and you worked quite a bit. How was that transition from going from working to starting your own business? Yeah.
It was so challenging. It was not an easy journey. It was not a nice journey. But the one thing that I've realized that if you want to become an entrepreneur, you should know that the process is not nice at all. I have never came across an entrepreneur that says the process or the journey of entrepreneurship is nice or it's beautiful. No, it's not nice at all. So
that's reality.
That's
the
reality.
truth.
Yes,
Yeah.
that's reality. The
Yeah.
journey is not nice. It was not nice. It's still not nice. But because I'm still going on and on.
Keeping on.
Yes, but it's the determination that will keep you going. It's where you're coming from sometimes also that will help you to press on. I said the other time, we as entrepreneurs, or for people who are planning to, they should know that yesterday was bad. Today is bad. Tomorrow is very bad. But the day after tomorrow, it's beautiful. But what happens in this life of entrepreneurship, we die tomorrow night. Yes, we die a lot of
Don't
people
wake up.
Yes, a lot of people die tomorrow night when we are about to enter into this beautiful day. A lot of people die because of a lot of things. It's a bit challenging. You need to discipline yourself. You need to be loyal to yourself. You need to set goals to yourself. You need to constantly remind and motivate yourself. So it comes with a lot of hard work, a lot of discipline, a lot of things, punctuality, those kind of things. So it's not a beautiful journey, but at the end of the day, it's worth it.
For sure. I mean, diamonds don't get made on the surface. They're made deep in the ground, in the crevices of the mountains, where there's a lot of pressure. And for you to be a really good entrepreneur, even personally, you have to go through pressure.
Yes.
Things like discipline is not the most it's not the easiest, it's not the sweetest process.
Yes.
To learn discipline.
Correct.
So why the makeup and the beauty parlor? Maybe what, in other words, is this your passion? Is this something that you went in because you were passionate about?
Yes, I went in because I was passionate about it, and through reading and researching, I am not just because I'm a writer, but I'm someone who loves reading, and through that I realized that if you do what you love, if you do what you're passionate about, it makes it easy. Sometimes you don't even feel like you're at work. Sometimes you just do things because you love them, and then on the other hand, it's also bringing in money. It's also making you to save it. So I can actually say it was my passion. It's still my passion, and passion with talent, I can say.
They go hand in hand.
Because sometimes I'm also surprised with the work that I do, and when I'm done, I'm like,
yourself.
okay, so I can actually do this.
Yes. Cool. Please give us just a little bit of info on, of course, talent. Means, I mean, I can see, the makeup and everything. It's art.
It's art.
It is art. It's not, it's not something that you just woke up one day and it's something that you learn and you like correct yourself and learn. So how was that process for you? I know, ladies and stuff. I mean, this is like something you all do it on your mirrors and everything. So, and the experimenting. Let's go into the fun part of it. How did you learn to do makeup? You said you worked for a few people and stuff like that. How was the process? And tell us of one really nice experience with a client.
I'm still learning.
Yeah, we always learning.
I'm still learning with the makeup. I am still learning. But it's fun. One thing that I love with makeup is it's so much fun, and the joy that it brings to my clients. It makes my heart warm. Because I know, like when I'm doing makeup, I normally say I don't want you to sit in front of the mirror because I know you would want to see yourself, but for the sake of progress and time, I let you sit aside. Then when I'm done, I'll be like, wow,
surprise.
So that moment, no matter how many, I think I've been doing it for 1,000 million times, but I never get used to that moment when I ask my client to look at themselves and they'll be like, wow. Some will even cry, especially the brides. They'll be like, yo, Faith, I am so traumatized. It's like it's not me. It warms my heart. It warms. I also sometimes become emotional, because there is esteem that it brings back into a person. It's awesome. It's amazing.
Fantastic. And let's talk about nails as well. It's like, of course, the makeup, I believe, is the face, the hair.
Yes.
The hair? Do you do hair?
No.
Just the
I
face?
do hair, but I'm at the moment I'm focusing with the makeup and the nails.
Just the face and the nails.
Yes.
Cool. Well, I see you also wearing some incredible nails.
yes.
Cool. What is the process? If you can just like, I'm a guy, I have no idea, no clue. Sometimes I see these things, I'm like, is that your nail? Like, how do these things work? Yes.
Okay, with the nails, it's art, because sometimes a client would be like, I don't know what I want, please just do something. So with makeup and nails, I think it also comes with when I'm teaching my the girls how to do this thing, I tell them that you also need to study the person's personality. So if someone comes and be like, I want to do my nails, but I don't know what I want. So I need to do a little chat with you so that I can see the kind of person you are, so that I can be able to determine the color that will suit you, the type of nails, like the length. We've got shapes. In nails, we've got shapes like coffin, almond, stilettos. We've got different like length.
What do you call that you just
the one that I have now is a coffin shape.
You can actually do that to the camera.
Coffin shape, the color white with some butterflies on. It's the art. Yeah, so, and that's what I get the most. People will be like, I don't know, I'm coming, please, I've got a function, I've got a birthday, can you just do something with my face and just do something with my nails? So in that, you don't just let the person sit down and you start doing. You need to like give a little chat so that it will help you to understand. Okay, I think she's a soft person. She doesn't like loud things. Okay, I think she's someone who's bubbly. She will definitely want something that's poppy. So you need, with both makeup and nails, you need to study the personality of a person, because in most cases, trust me, the clients will be like, I don't know what I want, but I want to look nice. I don't know what I want, but I'm wearing green.
Sure.
I don't know what I want, but my theme color is gold. So you must be able to know and the color combination, the whatnot. So sometimes you will be forced to ask if it's makeup. So what color shoe are you wearing? Just for you to know how you will mix the eyes, how you will come up with the eyeshadow color and all that. So you will be forced to go those extra mile and be like, okay, so what's happening? It's your engagement. It's, you know, those kind of, so that I can just get to know or to have an idea of the kind of person she is, so that I can decide on the color and a few stuff.
Phew. I mean, that is incredible, but like for someone like me, I'm like, whoa, that is quite a challenge, you know, like, I don't know.
It
what
can
do you
be
want?
a challenge if you're not passionate about
I'll ask
it.
the client, what do you want? You know?
And it takes a lot of patience as well. Yes.
Sure. And you also are passionate, you said, about empowering young people. So you teach.
Yes, I
you
teach.
don't just like, you know, the skills that you've learned over time. You pass it on.
Pass it on, yes.
That's really incredible. It's really commendable.
Yes.
It's like a discipleship almost. It's
Yes.
Apprenticeship.
Yes.
That's what it is.
Yes, yes.
And empowering other people to, you know, you don't just give them fish. You teach them how to go and fish and fend for themselves.
Yes.
That's really commendable. In all your experience, in all your experience in business, what is the one thing that you can, you know, tell our listeners and our viewers right now? You know, both from your, you can say the makeup parlor and nail bar and everything. What is it, that one experience you can tell somebody who's listening right now when you're going into business? You know, expect this.